what the fuck is life really about? And why is it that at times life likes to show its ugly side and try to make life more difficult than it needs to be? Welcome back to the Brewed for Life podcast, where we talk about everything and anything, and when we can, we enjoy a good beer on the side. So this life that we live in has so many ups and downs and so many places that you have an opportunity to make a decision as to whether or not you're going to move forward or stay paralyzed by whatever situation is confronting you. Being paralyzed, I think, is just part of life. And you're not necessarily paralyzed to the point where you feel like you can't do anything, but what it is it's more of a way of you thinking that you're stuck. You're never stuck. And that's something that I think people fail to realize, is that decisions are made in life by you. You're the one who controls all of those decisions. So there's not a single thing that can ever happen in your life that you can't change. It's just whether or not you can persevere enough to be able to do it. What is the most important thing that you do on a daily basis? Think about it. In the most recent part of my life, I have decided that it's time to make a change, and I've talked about it a few times, that my current role, my current job is not necessarily the best thing in the world for me. There's not a lot of opportunity for me to grow, and there's not a lot of room for me to be able to be highly successful. So I've decided to make a change. And within this new role, several things have happened that I think are highly important to acknowledge. And that is the questions I was asked during my interview for this new position and the tools that are going to be given to me in order to be successful. Now, in the time that I've been in sales, I have, for the most part, had to try to navigate it on my own. There was never really, anybody that showed me how to go about making a sale and how to approach a potential new customer, to be able to bring them on in order to do a sale. And, coming over from retail into sales, these are things that I think are part of your development. So in my current role, I was brought on in 3 interviews, and it took basically about a week and a half for them to make me a job offer. And then when I came on, I had a phone call from my boss and my direct manager, and he went through the process of what my training was going to look like. And my training consisted of splitting time between 2 other sales reps in order to learn the systems. But at no point during that was there ever anything that actually put me in a position to learn how to do sales. With that said, there are several things that I think are difficult to understand. So when you're moving from a role in retail where your job is, for the most part, to make sure shelves are full and the place looks good and all of that, as well as service customers, but you're not actually trying to sell anybody anything. Because you have to remember the difference is that people are coming into your store with the intention of buying things as opposed to going into somebody's business and trying to sell them things. 2 separate things. So I've had to learn how to do that on my own. And I felt like I've been, fairly successful in being able to develop relationships with my customers. Now, the reason why I did it and handled it that way and not try to go in as a used car salesman is because, let's be fucking honest, nobody likes a used car salesman. You want to be able to develop a relationship with the potential new account so that they understand that you guys are working on a human level. And yes, there's going to be a business transaction within that, but you have to be able to connect with them on some level. If you don't do that, you've already failed. So I've had to learn that on my own, and I've had to try to figure all of that out on my own, which was not easy. There was definitely a learning curve. There was a lot of nerves and a lot of different other feelings that were associated with walking into an account and try to get to the right person and be able to develop something to sell for them. So as I learned how to do all of those things, and I was able to develop business and take on new accounts and be successful at managing new accounts that were at different points not as, they're not growing as well as they probably should have been. And most of that had to do with, again, the sales rep's relationship with the account and not being able to service their needs or not being available or not being whatever. Now, I don't want you to think that you have to be literally an open book and always have availability for the customer, but to say you're going to do something and then not do it, that helps sever a relationship. So I was able to develop all of those things. The problem is that in my current role, one, I don't know where my deliveries are, so I have to constantly call the office to get an ETA. I don't have the ability to work remotely, so if I'm on the road, I need Wi-Fi at all times to be able to access any of my tools and any information to be able to answer any questions for my customers. So I don't have that with my current thing. And they also, as I've talked about multiple times on the social media page and a little bit here, there was definitely the sticking point with my commission plan, which is now ironed out, but still a little bit of a shit show. So this new company is going to give me the opportunity to be able to be as successful as I want to be, using the tools that I have and being able to open up new accounts with a larger variety of items to offer them, from food to supplies to cleaning stuff to produce, fresh meats, like all of that stuff. So it's definitely a different vantage point, but a lot more opportunity for me to go into a potential new account with more items to leverage as a reason why they should do business with me. Now, with that said, I also have all those other things available to me. So I'll have an app on my phone so I can be able to punch orders that way. My computer I'll be able to use any place at any time, anywhere, because that will have the card in it. I will have access to understand where my deliveries are so that I can give that real-time information to my customer. And I also have the ability to get somebody, my boss, a specialist, the regional manager, any of these people to come in who actively want to be a part of growing business and helping me grow my business. I don't have that in my current role. Not once since I've been with this company has my direct supervisor ridden with me or offered to ride with me. Not once have they come with me to visit accounts or met me at an account, none of that. The only time it has happened is he needed somebody to sit in on a meeting who understands merchandising and working at a store level or whatever to help leverage his conversation with this business. But that was the only time that him and I have ever sat in and did anything together outside of one of my interviews, that meeting, and then he took us all to lunch for like a holiday thing. So those are the only times that I actually had any of my supervisors actively want to be a part of what I do on a regular basis. So yes, this is going to be a huge transition because I'm going to be selling things that I haven't sold before. Are they things that I am familiar with? Yes, absolutely. But it's going to be slightly different because I'll be starting from ground zero. I'll have to build my own client base. I will be closer to home, which is a huge, huge, huge difference from where I am now, because now my current employer has, I can have accounts from anywhere from north of Boston all the way down to Virginia, which I do. Now, it's next to impossible to get to all these accounts. When most of my accounts are at a minimum of 2 hours away and then 2 hours back, that's half of my day gone just from sitting in a car to get from point A to point B. Completely unproductive. And it's wild that a company who requests that of their salespeople, one, doesn't give you any kind of a stipend for your cell phone, doesn't pay you for mileage, doesn't even offer to pay your tolls to get to all these places. So I can't wait to get out of here. It's going to be a change, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on me in order to drive these sales. But I know that within me that I can do this, for one, and two, it'll be good to be able to be locally based. So these are places that, like, not only can I, go in and try to obtain their business, but it's also places where I can go in and I could sit down and I could grab lunch and I can talk to somebody or whatever, and there's a different way of networking that's going to be able to happen. And I'm going to appreciate every single bit of that. But my point of sharing all of this is that this is a giant leap of faith. It's a giant opportunity and a chance for me to either be successful or fail. Now, with my current employer, yes, I am hitting commissions now because now I actually have a commission plan. And I'm going to be giving that up for a period of time as I develop my business with this new company. But the kicker is, yes, I'm going to be losing that little bit of commission that I just started making anyway in order to have the long game. And that's what's important to me. I don't always want to be stuck in this role. I want to have a different place to go. I am 47 years old, which means bare minimum I have at least 18 years left of working. In that 18 years, if I work for a bigger company, which I am going to, that gives me the ability to go from being a sales manager to an area sales manager to a regional sales manager, or even be able to grab a job at the corporate level where maybe now I'm the center of the plate specialist and I'm dealing with the beef and all of those things. There's a bigger variety of ways that I can grow as an employee. We get stock options and all this other stuff, chances to win trips and be a part of food shows and all these other things. A lot of opportunity to be able to network and sell what it is that I do and all of the things that I've experienced in order to benefit me in the long run. This is a great opportunity. Scary, yes, but a great opportunity. Now, plenty of people have opportunities thrown in front of them on a regular basis. The question is why do we not take the chance? Are we too scared to take a chance? Because guess what? The best things in the world happen when you work outside of your comfort zone. That's where there is growth mentally and your mindset changes when you challenge yourself to do something that you don't typically do. And it teaches you that as scared or as nervous or as anxious as you were to be able to do it, the reward on the other side shows you that you can do it. And you can't just do it once. And that's what is the important part, because you learn by doing things repetitively. Everybody does. You get to become a better reader by reading more. You become more hands-on as you learn a trade. The more times you do it, the more skilled you become at it. And that goes the same for working outside of your comfort zone. It is absolutely important that you challenge yourself on a daily basis to be able to work outside of that comfort zone. I will be the first one to tell you that I have always been scared to work outside of my comfort zone, like literal butterflies. Even just recently, on something on a more personal level, I stopped to see some people I haven't seen in years, and I've talked about this in one of the previous episodes, and these are people that I know and have known for years, but I haven't seen them in a long time. When I pulled in the parking lot to go see them and go express my condolences, I had butterflies. I was nervous. I was scared. And I was that way for a lot of reasons. One, I feared that the way I left it was fucked up, which I stopped down there again just the other day, and it was exactly that. I said, hey, I feel bad about, how all of this has gotten to where it is. And I said, I don't really know exactly what happened. I don't remember exactly, but if I just up and left and just disappeared, I'm sorry for that. And my worst fear was followed up with, yeah, you just kind of disappeared. I get it, but you just kind of were here one day and gone the next. And that was the worst thing that I had feared, that I had not given anybody an opportunity to even attempt to be there. And at the time, I was a very different person. I was a very arrogant, but I think I was also in a self-preservation mode. So all of that happened, but I did it. I took the opportunity to face what I had to hear in order to be able to move forward. These are people that are great people, really genuine, honest, have been a part of my life for almost half my life. That's the reality of it. We probably easily 15 years we were friends, and to just have a life change like that, it ruined everything. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that are pissed off at me for making that decision, and that's fine. I will face those things as I can. And what I mean by that is as I, put myself in a position to be able to do that. I'm not going to wait for the opportunity. I am going to actively try to fix damages that I have done. That's important to me to be able to clean out that file cabinet of guilt and be able to move forward. But as I said, it just takes you willing to take a risk and a chance to work outside of your comfort zone. You have to challenge yourself. It is very important to challenge yourself. Physically, mentally, emotionally, it is the best thing in the world you could possibly do. The other thing is that I made a drastic change in my life by, one, getting out of my bad relationship in order to be someplace where I knew I would be happier, and then try to restart my life. Now, here are all the things that have happened by me and having somebody next to me that would be extremely supportive of the entire process. Angry at me at times? Yes. Pushed me so that I would work outside of my comfort zone? Yes. So, here are the things that I have been able to obtain by starting to remove the layers of trash off of my shoulders so that I could start to enjoy life again. One, get out of that shitty relationship. Two, start getting rid of the things around me that don't fucking make me happy. Three, make sure that the person that you love the most and the person that is there for you through thick and thin is acknowledged for everything they've done, right? Four, start dealing with all of the damage that you did before that made you a person who hides behind walls. That's where I'm working on now. And I'm doing that now because I have a beautiful fiance who is extremely supportive about everything I do and makes me be a better person. I have a better relationship with my older son now, and I want him to be proud, and I want him to see that hard work, it rewards you. I have a beautiful home, which, Audrey and I worked very hard in order to be able to have. We have 2 pretty new cars that we were able to replace, paid for in cash, and we have all of the things that make us happy, like me working on this podcast, me being able to handle the YouTube channel. She has her own personal ventures. We are doing this thing together. We are supportive of each other and give each other time to be able to do these things. That's fucking important, because if you don't have that, it makes it tougher to work outside of your comfort zone. You have to be an extremely strong person to push through it on your own. You need somebody who's going to be honest with you every step of the way. And when you're being soft and giving up on yourself, they need to remind you that you are doing this for a reason. And it may be your significant other, it may be a very good therapist, it could be a family member, whoever it is. You got to listen to them. You have to make a change every single day. Pick something that you didn't like and really strive for it. Push through it. Things that are important that help you get through that. 1, exercise. You have to be able to do something. Not saying you need to go to the gym and lift weights, but get out there, go for a walk, go for a hike, ride a bike. Do something that gets your heart moving. Do some basic exercises in your house by yourself. Whatever it is, get your body moving. You get that blood pumping, it'll start to alleviate stress. It'll do all kinds of good things for your blood pressure, cholesterol, all those things. As long as you get moving, do it in slow intervals if you haven't done it, and then gradually build it. 2, change your diet. Eat healthier. Make sure you're taking vitamins. All things that are really, really, really important. People downplay the impact that eating fast food and just a lot of processed shit really does to you. It literally can make you feel depressed, sluggish, tired, outside of all the other things that it screws with your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your weight, your cortisol levels, all of those things. Very, very important to do that. The third thing is always take time for yourself. Whatever it is that you absolutely enjoy, fishing, reading, listening to music, going for a walk, gardening, working outside, cleaning your house, whatever it is, make time for it. It will help you in so many ways. It's not just work. When it changes how you feel about yourself mentally, if it helps you release stress, if it helps you burn off the pressures of the day, that is something that is extremely important. So with all that said, what are your stressors? What are the things that bring you to a point where you just can't focus, you're too frustrated? What are the stressors in your life? And how do you start peeling them away so that you don't have to deal with them anymore. You're always going to have some kind of a stress, work or life or whatever it might be, but how do you get rid of the unnecessary stressors? Facing them, acknowledging them, and removing them. Treat it literally like, like a fucking pimple. People, as soon as they get them, they're either putting those dots on them, they're washing their face, they're popping them, they're doing whatever it is to help clear them up and get it out of there as soon as possible, because some people it's an eyesore, and they don't want to have it on their face, they don't want the blemish, they don't want any of those things, and that's understandable. I think we can all agree to that. But think about how quickly you react as an individual to that, but you don't do it to your stress, to the pain points within your life. You have to treat it the same. It's the same thing. It's an item or a thing or a stressor or whatever you want to call it. It's something that's impacting your life negatively. So how do you get rid of it? You have to face it head on. You have to deal with it right away, and you have to put it to bed. Get it out of there. Fuck off. My life needs to be better than this. I'm not dealing with this. Get out of here. I don't need your bullshit. See ya. And that's just how you have to deal with it. But, like I said, that doesn't come easy for everybody. But it can come easy if you put it into practice and you work on it every single day. So what is your challenge going to be? For the next week, I want you guys to reach out, leave comments on the Instagram page, leave comments, on Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is that you're listening to the podcast, and let me know, what do you do to relieve your stress? What is the thing you do to challenge yourself every single day? And are you doing it? How consistently are you doing it? Step up. Be good to yourself. Make yourself the person that you want to be, because you're the one that makes those decisions. Make better decisions for yourself. You got this. You can do this. You can move forward. You can be everything it is that you want to be, but it's up to you to drive the ship right exactly where you want it to go and face the damn challenges as they approach you. Do not give up on them. Deal with them. You might not be able to get rid of them really fast or quickly or however you want to say it, but you break them down and you get through them. With that said, thank you guys for listening. Check out the YouTube page. Follow on the Instagram page. I enjoy all the support. We're going to get back at this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll talk to you real soon.